Somehow, On Air-Deraan returned.
That's right, after getting everyone's hopes up, we are back and we're doing basically nothing for a little bit. Yeah, it's just kind of what you expect from us. We're On Air-Deraan, who cares though? This is Freddy, I'm Luke. Let's
And
just
we're
kind of go
back.
through the motions. We're back, but you know, what's up with this anyway? What is
Yeah.
the deal with
What's the
rivers?
deal?
Why do they meander so much?
Oh, whoa. What's the deal with this podcast? What's the deal with the Bad Batch?
Since we're this late anyway, you've probably heard many other reviews, so I'll just spoil my opinion of this episode. This intro was about as important to this episode as this week's episode of Bad Batch felt. But that's beside the point. We're here to say basically that again, but in
For
the
2
space of
hours.
2 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what you can expect from us.
Hope you like broken records, because
Yeah.
that's what you're going to hear.
Well, Bad Batch certainly did break
saying the
some
same thing.
records for most fillery things in one season of Bad Batch.
Whoa, but I thought we didn't like the word filler. Well, that's a conversation that we're going to have.
That's a conversation for another time.
Whoa, as in soon. But
Or
I think...
whatever Mascanada said.
Oh, yeah. You know, the thing that was never actually decided until, like, a couple years ago.
Nope.
So maybe we should quickly get onto the starter structure of the episode.
Yep, and I no longer care about this being the name of this pseudo segment.
The only true
I don't know
segment.
what it is about this episode. The only true segment. You know, it encompasses all the other segments.
That's true. Technically, it's the entire podcast.
One could say that it never ends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Technically, starter structure is the crochet granite of our podcast.
Oh my god. It's the only formative moment of our lives. I hope that's wrong.
That's... No, it's not wrong. On Air-Deraan is the biggest thing you will ever achieve.
Oh
Or me, for that matter.
How to insult
that's-
somebody subtly.
The biggest insult that anyone could give me is On Air-Deraan is the best thing you've ever made.
God damn. Well, tagline, the worst
It's still
Star Wars
fun, though.
podcast. It is fun, yeah, don't get me wrong. But you know what else is fun? Actually talking about what we're going to talk about. So, the starter structure,
Indeed.
of course, starts with our Grand Admiral thoughts, because our thoughts are superior to everyone else's, all the generals.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, that means... What the hell is this paper? Sorry.
That's
Which
actually
means
the
that we
script
both-
to this episode of The Bad Batch. That's where
Yeah, it
all the
was
voice
handed
actors.
to me by Kathleen Kennedy herself.
Oh no, we're not actually. God.
No. That being said, I did find a building that had the name shill.co on it, which just feels like it should be our headquarters.
Yes. So after our Grand Admiral thoughts, when we just talk about our general non-spoiler thoughts, we then go on to, of course, Crochet Granite.
The aforementioned Crochet Granite, where we try to speed through this episode's plot
Whoa!
without
that shouldn't
too
take
many
long.
tangents. Nope, you can say that again.
Hey.
And
How about we speed through all
And
of
then we
Echo's voice lines?
did he say
I
anything?
don't think he did.
But then we do the complete opposite of Crochet Granite, and instead of speeding through the plot without any tangents, ideally, we go very deep, kind of like they do in this episode, but even deeper.
Whoa.
And you could say that we spin our wheels, but instead of accomplishing not much, we talk about literally anything related to this episode, or not, if we choose to do so.
Yeah, as will probably happen, if I'm not gonna lie.
This is also where we usually discuss all the connections to the wider universe. if there are any.
If there are any. Oof. And then after...
I mean, there are, but...
Yeah. And then after our nitty-gritty, we have a new segment, which is our Interpredictor Cruiser.
I thought it was In Predictor.
Oh, In Predictor Cruiser. Which is actually...
It can't be Interpredictor, because In Predictor makes it a bit of an escape clause in case our predictions are wrong.
Like they were last week.
We can say that it's an In Prediction.
Yeah, like they were
very
last
wrong,
week. So,
yes.
yeah, very wrong. Which we will undoubtedly talk about.
Oh, yes.
And then, after the In Predictor Cruiser has swooped down, we then go into our final... Academy Award segment, not even award winning. It is just the entirety of the Academy Awards. That is light side, dark side, and the one in the middle, the Bendu. Oh my god! Let me just
crack this glass over my head. I haven't done that in a while. I think I should abandon that stupid bit.
Yeah, I mean, how many brain cells have you lost from doing that?
How many have I gained?
How many brain cells have you gained from watching Star Wars?
I mean, literally none, because you never gain brain cells.
Oh my god.
Born, but at least I think. I might be wrong.
I have no idea. I did not take any of the smart subjects.
I think that the only cells in your body that don't regenerate are brain cells... or eggs if you have ovaries. So other than that, I think that everything regenerates.
So Doctor Who lied to me. God,
I mean, he didn't if you're a Time Lord.
Whoa, that's true.
Are you a Time Lord?
Tough to say. I mean, I've never died, so... I've got no way to prove either way.
Time Lord... We are the Time Lords who both go by the name The Podcaster. No one likes us.
I'm imagining like a villain like the Trickster from Sarah Jane Adventures. You know, hooded and robes.
Oh, was that like a rogue Time Lord?
No, he was just a weird space entity. But he was like going through time, I think, or something. I can't remember. It's been a long time.
Oh, remember that dream guy from that Matt Smith episode? Was he like a Dream Lord?
Oh, the Dream Lord, yeah. Yeah, he was like...
What is the actor's name? Toby Harris?
He's a good actor, and he was in a bad episode of Sherlock. Rewatched that episode recently. It's not good. It's really not good.
It's probably still the highlight of that season.
It is the best episode of that season, but it's still terrible.
I will say that you are wrong and keep on not rewatching that series to live in blissful ignorance.
I can't... you can't prove me wrong if you never prove either way. But talking of things that we...
also in a show that I liked a lot called Wayward Pines.
Whoa.
By I liked a lot, I meant I liked the first series, and the second one was apparently very bad, so I never watched it.
Fair enough. So, talking about things that we can unequivocally prove, what is your opinion, your Grand Admiral thought about this episode of The Bad Batch?
Well, as you can probably tell from when I already said it, I didn't like this episode too much, but I do have to qualify that while I don't think that this episode was poorly made,
yeah,
it was about the closest that I think we've gotten to filler lately.
Yeah.
While I don't like that word, which we've already mentioned, and I don't know if we're going to talk about it nowish or in nitty gritty, it will take a lot of legwork for following episodes to make this worth it. I just felt like it took all the wind from the season sails.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people have been... Well, the people who defend... I don't like saying defend as if they're in the wrong for having a positive opinion. But people who are defending this episode say that it will pay off a lot more in the future. And that we're going to look really judgmental in the present, in the future for our opinions of the present. But I don't know.
I feel like regret our thoughts and deeds. or words
I
and
mean,
deeds?
I'd like to be wrong, but it doesn't seem like it has much to do with the rest of what's happened in the series. Now, my Grand Admiral thought, my Grand Admiral non-spoiler thought, is that if this episode came in the first half of the season, I would be fine with it. I would pretty much have no qualms with it. I think it's a fine episode on its own. It's certainly not the. It's fine. It's not like outstanding, but it's just the placement in the season. I think really weighs down on it because I think it's just misplaced. It doesn't really interact with the stories before it, and it literally just ignores the pretty big deal that happened last week because there seems to be a time jump. So it's just like, why is this episode happening now when we're 3 episodes away from the end of the season?
That truly blows my mind. Like, last week we qualified that you didn't think that the change or like the big moment at the end of last episode was a change at all. I said that at least I think I said that as long as they continue that thread like immediately, it can be a big moment with Crosshair being on their tail, but it's just nothing.
They didn't do anything.
This episode was kind of just nothing.
Yeah.
It felt to me like a Rebels Season 1 episode, but with less character.
Yeah, that's the thing. Rebels Season 1 has episodes where the narrative of the episode, or like not the narrative, the plot of the episode has not much to do with the other plots, but the characters all actually grow. That didn't really happen in this episode. There was no character growth, unfortunately. So that kind of removes... Like I would say Rebel Season 1 has had better episodes than this one. This episode is not as... The quote-unquote filler episodes of Rebel Season 1, I think, have far more of a place than this episode does.
Yeah. Again, if the characters or the adversaries from this episode do show up again, it might redeem itself, kind of, but in the moment, I don't think it worked too well. Especially, even though the villains at points were quite threatening, the stuff they were doing felt very nonsensical to me.
Yeah, it didn't really...
by villains, I mean the humanoid ones. Well,
yeah.
The ones who walked around.
Yeah, and also, like, when people... I expect that they will all play a larger role, but the thing is that Season 2 of Bad Batch has not been confirmed. Still. Mm-hmm. So, it's kind of an assumption that we are going to get a Season 2. I think we will.
Someone's been watching Star Wars Explained.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
I watched his review on Friday, so I can't remember.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, I'm assuming there will be a Season 2.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that excuses this episode not contributing to this season.
Yeah, it's a real juggling act that you have to do with this sort of with Star Wars even more so, because it's a real, there are two schools of thought, whether you see Star Wars as a big interconnected universe or a series, I guess you could call it, or a series of shows. If you see Star Wars as more of a big interconnected thing, then you can get away with more things that feel a bit more meandery, but that develop the world more. But I think that this took it a little bit too far, especially since, as we discussed the last 2 weeks, I believe, this series doesn't know whether it wants to do the world thing or the character thing.
Is it an anthology?
Yeah.
Is it a serial? Is it a narrative, like a continual narrative? Like, what is it? Decide.
It's a bit of everything, but also none of it. And it's getting a little bit annoying.
Yeah, I guess we should start talking about the actual plot. So I suppose we should just get into the crochet granite of this.
It shouldn't be too long, hopefully.
I don't think it will be long at all. So do you want to start, or should I start?
Why not? Okay, so the Bad Batch comes back from some mission that ended up being a little bit hairier than they would like.
Yeah, they apparently encountered. They encountered Gundarks on the landing point.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounded pretty exciting.
Shame that we didn't get to see it.
Mm.
Sort of reminiscent of the beginning of Attack of the Clones, but still.
Oh yeah,
but with better acting.
Yeah, the night. The thing is, like, when you pay attention to what they're actually talking about, they're talking about like a weird alien thing that like went into Kenobi's dreams. I think, right? It sounded pretty.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, it sounds pretty cool. It sounds like it would be a cool adventure to see, but alas not.
Doesn't matter. Anyway, they are pretty cross with Sid, so they go straight to take it out with her.
Yeah, because she didn't mention the Gundarks.
Yeah. Oh, he didn't mention they were Gundarks. I don't know if it's obvious that I'm doing the "you didn't mention there was custard" meme. That the bloody Auntie Donna meme sites are full of these days. Sorry, I'm just deflecting because I don't care about this episode enough.
Fair enough.
But they find Sid's cantina being full of guys in weird dark suits of armor. And they don't want to let them into the office.
Yeah, because there's a new person in town. Some guy with large horns.
Yeah, a sort of a delightfully devilish Deveronian named Roland.
Whoa. Yeah, such an evil name, Roland.
Yeah. Such an alien name.
Yeah. I mean, people complained about Sabine's brother being called Tristan. So I don't think those people would be very happy about this guy being called Roland.
There are only so many names you can make up before they start sounding too weird.
I think they always sounded pretty weird.
What, does Crix Maydeen not sound like a completely fine name to you?
Yeah. Jan Dodonna. Or Jan Dodonna, should I say?
That's a completely perfect name. What?
So Roland...
Does As Morrigan not sound like a completely okay name?
Oh, imagine if it was As Morrigan who had taken over.
I will get back to this soon.
We'll get back onto it. Yeah. So Roland says that he took over and says that you can be in business with me, and then suddenly the Bad Batch care about Sid. And they're like, no way, Jose. And then they go. Oh no, Hunter says we'll think about it, which means no, basically, because he said that to Rex as well. So he says no way, Jose, and then they go to their ship, and then on their ship is Sid, the Weequay, and the Ithorian. They're already there.
They have names like, I think it's Sketch and Bowl or something like that.
Yeah. Are they like the pirates from Pirates of the Caribbean? What are their names?
Like the guy with the wooden eye and the other guy. I don't know.
They do have names. I don't think they're ever mentioned, but they do have names.
They're like they're like those two pirates, or the two British soldiers. Then they
Oh,
become
yeah.
pirates or something.
Yeah, I always thought the fact that they become pirates was a bit weird, but I like them in the first film. They're pretty funny.
I mean, they disguised themselves as pirates so that they don't immediately kill them in the
Yeah,
third
that
one.
is true. Yeah, that's true.
And I think they stick around with them afterwards because I think they're in Captain Salazar's Revenge.
Are
or
you
whatever
kidding
it's
me? They're
called,
in
Dead Men Tell No
5?
Tales. I think they cameo in it. I don't know.
God damn it. Yeah, but so Sid says that
4 exists.
look, I'm gonna try and like get rid of Roland because Roland's in with the Pikes. So Roland's got some spice that he's gonna give to the Pikes, and I'm gonna steal the spice. Or I don't remember the exact order of this. And then Omega says that they should help Sid because after all the things that Sid has done for them. Do you care on giving us a list of all those things, Luke? A list of all the good deeds.
Them,
Yep. Blackmail.
blackmailing them, teaching their child to gamble.
Yep. So
What
many
else
good
is there? I don't
things.
think there's anything else.
No, not really.
She's been basically acting as their personal wallet because all the credit for all the Markiplier mix and everything else that they've eaten went straight to her.
That's true, actually. But
I don't know. She's not been the best.
yeah, but
By any means, though.
Omega says that she is. So she convinces the Bad Batch to help her steal the spice because then the Pikes would get angry, and then, as we all know, the Pikes would just shoot someone dead immediately if they double cross them, as we've seen threatened.
Definitely.
Yeah, we've seen that threatened in even the Martez sisters arc. You know, they were gonna just straight up shoot them.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen it talked about before. So the Pikes are pretty dangerous, and it's the one good way to get rid of Roland for good.
Yeah. By the way, if you don't remember who the Pikes are, they own the spice mines on Kessel, which you could have seen in
your
Solo,
favorite?
and they look completely differently there.
In your favorite Clone Wars
Well, it's-
arc.
Yeah, and then Ahsoka's Walkabout. They're the guys with the very big heads but very tiny faces.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. They
so
kind of look
what-
like swollen Talses.
Oh wow.
If you shave a Tals.
Whoa. And as you said, they look completely different in live action.
Yeah.
But their plan is they're going to go into the Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom Disneyland ride, and they're going to go underground silently to under Sid's place, and then they're going to just steal the spice from underneath the sewer vent, and then Roland will be none the wiser because the Ithorian and the Weequay would steal or like lure away his pet lizard bird or whatever it is
It's
using
like a lizard armadillo.
using Markiplier mechs.
Which obviously is going to go off without a hitch because,
Yeah,
you know, it's not like they are a duo of barely named comic relief characters.
definitely not. And as we all know,
You know.
Markiplier mechs is so tempting, and it's just going to lure away that easy peasy.
I mean,
and,
it is.
I mean,
it
it
actually
does. Yeah,
is.
it actually does. As you all know, Markiplier is just that tempting.
Yeah. With his buttery smooth voice.
I was about to say buttery smooth voice as well. That's just the go-to way to describe it.
And also, we're talking about popcorn, which, you know,
Yeah.
probably is buttery smooth.
That is true.
That's what it is, isn't it?
Well, that's why it's called Markiplier
It might be pop-
mix. Because it's buttery
Because
smooth.
Yeah. It could be popped Jogan fruit based on the color, but I
Whoa.
don't think we've seen Jogan fruit in this series yet.
No, we only see Jogan fruit in Rebels.
And Clone Wars.
No, that was a different
They had
fruit.
Jogan fruit in Jedi Crash.
Was that?
It looked exactly the same as Jogan fruit.
Yeah, because there's that episode when C-3PO and R2-D2 need to go into Coruscant to find a fruit, and then C-3PO gets kidnapped and tortured, whilst R2-D2 gets pampered in a spa.
Fun.
That's a different fruit.
Wait. What about the fruit that Fennec Shand steals for Omega? That wasn't Jogan fruit, was it?
No, that was the one from Clone Wars again.
Fair enough. The other Jogan fruit that no one talks about.
Yeah, Jogan fruit is spiky.
I thought it was bumpy.
Oh.
I could be wrong.
I can't remember. Who cares? This friggin' space fruit.
It looks like As Morgan's face a little bit.
Whoa, what's wrong with your face?
What's wrong with your face? I understood that reference. I know what that is.
Whoa.
Yeah,
so their plan kickstarts by going onto these minecart type things and underneath the surface of Ord Mantell.
But what is it in these tunnels? They're like covered in like weird webs and shit.
Yeah, and Sid tells them not to use the motor engines because you'll wake up the hive. Oh my god.
Yeah, another thing that she kept secret from them that would have probably been very useful to know.
Yeah, whoa. So they do that, and then they go through, and then Wrecker does Fool of a Took moment and drops in his torch.
Literally, yeah.
But it doesn't wake up the hive.
Well, it wakes them up, but it doesn't like alert them to their presence too much. There's like skittering about.
Yeah.
But other than that, the plan keeps going fairly well. On their side, at least, they get into the office, where you can see the white Mandalorian helmet. You may have noticed it this time.
I missed it again.
It was around the 9-minute mark. If you rewatch it,
no, I'm never gonna.
Just for that one frame, so that you believe me that it's there. I'll send you a picture.
Whoa! Send me a Mando helmet pic.
I'll send you a helmet pic. Oh wow. Okay.
Oh.
And good thing that it's never mind.
God damn it! You can say good thing it's a white one.
Yeah, another purple one. Has there been a purple Mandalorian? Probably.
I'm sure there has been.
Wait, doesn't Sabine wear purple armor?
She wears like pink armor.
Close enough.
But it's not like all pink.
Yeah, no. She has like paint splotches on it, doesn't she?
Yeah,
or, like,
yeah,
graffiti.
Because it's like, proper 2000s.
Yeah.
If
she's
she
a
wore
pastel goth.
If she wore like human like Earth clothes, she would wear the long sleeve shirt with a t-shirt over the top.
Are you serious? Are you saying that she has the Sheldon fashion sense?
No, that was the 2000s.
That's what Sheldon wears.
Yeah, but I know. What does he?
Yeah, like all the time.
Yeah, well, that's what everyone wore in the 2000s, though.
Didn't Big Bang Theory only start in like 2013?
Well, maybe that's why he's a nerd for wearing it, because he's out of touch with the current fashion trends.
Probably. Anyway.
Where were we? Oh yeah, they kind of still get caught though, because Roland gets his lizard bird back, armadillo lizard bird, and then they catch the two bumbling idiots, and he goes back to his office and is like, "Oh my god, where's the spice gone?
Why is all the rum gone?"
And then he looks down and he sees the secret rum entrance that Jack Sparrow has on the island. Same kind of thing. And then he sends his goons down there to go chase them.
Yeah, they chase them also on sea turtles.
Yeah.
But as opposed to the Bad Batch, they actually use the motors because they also don't know about the what's it? The Ungry? The Ungry? They're like weird spider bats. I don't think you ever get a good look at them.
No, you never do. You know their blood is green.
Yeah, and they're afraid of light, which they figure out.
Yeah. Like incels.
Well, they're scared of sunlight and going outside. That's a little different. Earlings.
Yeah.
First appearance, probably?
Yep, first appearance.
Not unlike Roland, whatever.
Yeah, Roland Durand.
The gunslinger Roland.
Yeah, Idris Elba.
Well, in that bad movie.
I know. Apparently, a plot point is that he is white. I can't remember.
I don't remember that either. I don't really care that much.
Neither.
If that's a plot point, it wouldn't be the first plot point that an adaptation could drop.
Yeah.
Remember the Harry Potter stuff where they drop like half the plot points?
Oh yeah, then it turned out to be relevant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Therefore,
I've been watching Dominic Noble's reviews.
I need to rewatch those. They're great.
Yeah. I also watched his video on Terry Pratchett, and it made me realize that my OC world that I thought was just Discworld-esque is literally just Discworld.
I when I used to write things when I was like 11, it was very Discworldy. But try hard Discworldy, so it's pretty cringy. So I never ever want to read it ever again.
I think what I had is salvageable, but it's not great. I also read it like 6 years ago, so the language isn't too good. Anyway, let's
back to Star
stop
Wars.
Talking about our OCs now. So the guards in black chase them and immediately get attacked by the Ungri, or whatever you said they were named. Earlings. And they get really messed up. The Bad Batch only barely escapes, but in the process drops all of the spice.
Yeah, just like in the Martez arc.
Yeah.
Remember?
No.
The young one...
it's been over a year.
The young one ejected the spice from the spaceship.
Like Han Solo did.
Yeah. And then her older sister, Ahsoka, got really angry at her.
Yeah, because they were going to sell it to the hospitals.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah. That's what you can do. If you ever do a drugs bust, or if you're ever a drug trafficker, just send the heroin to your nearby hospital. I'm sure they'll appreciate it, and you won't go to jail.
Yeah, I mean...
It's a great moral.
Spice is like opioids. It can be made into,
Yeah, I think
medication.
It was a plot point in the Ahsoka's Walkabout arc that it was unrefined spice, so it could be made into drugs or medicine. I don't remember what this spice was, if it was unrefined or refined spice.
I feel like it would have been refined by now.
It was the first time we've ever seen spice.
Did we see spice inside the box?
Yeah, Tech opens the box and then gets out a packet of spice. That's the first time we ever see inside a box of spice.
Except probably in some comic or something.
It may be. Who knows? So they lose the spice, and then I was like, haha, Roland, you lose. And then Roland's... I can't remember what happens. But then the Pikes come, and then they kill all Roland's guys, and then they capture Roland.
And also Omega. No, wait, no.
No. And then the Bad Batch come back to Sid's place, and they're like, okay, it's our place now. And then the Pikes are like, nuh-uh, give us the spice, otherwise... Because Roland says that you've got the spice, and we want the spice, and so...
But they're like, nah, we don't have the spice, sorry.
And then it's like, okay, then give us the child. And then that can be like the guarantee of your cooperation. And then they're like, oh no. And then a cool moment, they all pull out their blasters and point them at the Pikes. But then they all give in.
That was a very good moment.
But then they all give in.
Yeah, Sid tells them that she will mediate all this situation, and basically decides that they will leave Omega with them for the time being. Anyway,
Yeah.
so she basically did nothing, really.
Yeah, classic handing over Omega as a prisoner. But then
Yep.
Sid decides that she's gonna help the little kid out, and they're gonna get the spice back. So what do they
Yeah.
do? They go to a big opening crater thing, and then they like zip line down from the Omicron thing down into the thing, and then they get all the spice that's at the bottom.
And that's about it.
There's a cool bit with when like the Earlings were like coming to attack, like they were woken up again, and then Tech made like a light bomb thing that was like the brighter than a star. That was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool. It looked like a timed charge that they sometimes use, and I think that seismic charges look similar as well.
Yeah.
Not the explosion, like the casing.
Yeah. And then, they bring back the spice to the Pikes, and the Pikes are like, "Gee, thanks, gee willikers, thank you, Batman." Why did I say that? No, but they said our quarrel is done with you now.
But not with Roland, who didn't do anything wrong.
So they get out a knife.
And they pretend like they're going to chop his head off, but JK, they only chopped one of his horns off.
Yeah, they only bodily mutilated him.
Yeah. To scare him, I guess, so that he never It's not so that he never does anything to them in the future, but that's the end of the episode. I think we should just straight go to the point that...
No, the reason... So Omega says that... Omega tried to make the Pike. She said, don't hurt Roland. She said, don't do it. And then the Bad Batch were like, why did you stick up for Roland? And she said, it's because the lizard bird liked him. And if the lizard bird
can't be too bad.
Yeah, if the lizard bird liked him, he can't be too bad. So you hear that, kids? Hitler had a dog, so clearly... the dog saw some good in him. Obviously.
Yep.
It's definitely not like the lizard bird armadillo could be swayed by just holding Markiplier mix to make it like you.
I know, right?
Imagine.
Episode over.
Yeah, that's the episode done.
That's the episode done. No, not even a stinger that crosshairs on their tail. Nothing
I
at all.
thought there might be a post-credit scene. So I stuck around.
But there weren't.
There wasn't. There was not.
No. First of all, now that we are past Crochet Granite and Nitty Gritty...
Indeed.
What the hell were the Pikes doing? Like, Roland did nothing wrong. He just was stolen from. So they were going to kill him. But the Bad Batch stole their spice, which they knew. But
yes.
Just because they gave it back, they let them go without more than a warning?
Yes.
What was that about?
I don't know.
That was so strange, because, like, for the most of the episode, they did a really good job at, like, framing them as real scary dudes.
Yeah, the problem is that, like, the Pikes keep getting thwarted all the time. So they had to, like, build them up as a threat. But in doing so, like, they needed to make them not too much of a threat that the Bad Batch are actually in danger of doing, quote-unquote, the right thing. I mean, either way, they're still stealing drugs, which isn't exactly whoopee credit.
And I'm pretty sure that they were going to sell them.
Oh my god.
Or at least let's it sell them.
I don't understand the Bad Batch's morals at this point. Like, at the moment, their loyalty is to Sid, who, as we've established earlier, has been like a blackmailer, double-crosser, whatever, extortionaire. That's not a word, but whatever. And yet, Hunter was like, oh, I don't think that we should join up with Rex and his cause to fight the Empire. It's like, why? That would actually give you some purpose.
I do not get it either. That's, I feel, one of the byproducts of them not being to settle on being an anthology or like a character thing.
Yeah.
That the thing that should be like front and center is completely pushed away.
Yeah, it's weird the way it's like that.
Yeah, I'm really starting to kind of lose faith that this will like wrap up really well, because the series started amazingly well, I thought.
It did. I mean,
and
that
it had
first
some
episode
very
was
good stuff
brilliant.
in it, but yeah, and cut and run. I mean,
I love that
replacements. So many good things.
The writer of this episode wrote Replacements.
Hmm.
Wait, no, did she? She wrote Decommissioned. My mistake.
Ah, right.
Which is the Martez sisters.
I like Decommission too.
No, I liked it.
Interesting.
Ironically, it has the echo moment, doesn't it? Of, is there an echo in here? Yes. But Echo says two. I think he says 2 lines in this entire episode.
And apparently none of them are memorable enough.
Yeah. So I think that's the problem, is that we're 3 episodes away from the finale, and not all of the characters have had their time to shine. We hardly know Tech and Echo, really.
Yeah, and we thought we knew Wrecker, but apparently he was faking his fear of heights until now, because it was completely gone.
Yeah, that was weird.
Remember when he had a problem with going up a ladder?
Maybe that's character development, and you're just too stupid to understand, Luke.
Maybe he lost his fear of heights when they removed his inhibitor chip?
He lost his fear of heights by gambling it, obviously, because, that's a moral thing.
Yeah, he ran out of money, so he bet his fear of heights against a box of Markiplier mix.
Yeah, same. I would bet away my fears for profit.
And lose intentionally.
Whoa.
Yeah. Just sell your soul.
Yeah, exactly. What's there to lose?
Trade it for Alf Pogs.
He's back.
Like Bart
in
Simpson.
park form.
In park form. In park form.
That was a good
I don't
episode.
have a good Millhouse. Yeah, it was a weirdly Christian episode.
Yeah. Millhouse's name, he's named after Richard Nixon's middle name.
Millhouse?
Yeah, Rich Nixon's middle name is Millhouse.
Wait, Millhouse? No, Millhouse. His last name is Van Houten. Never mind. For a second, not sure if he has a first name. I thought. Never mind.
Millhouse.
No, I thought it was just something Millhouse. Kind of like Homer J. Simpson's middle name is just J.
J, yeah. And how Bart should change his name to Homer Jr., and that way the kids can call you Hoju. Classic. I can't even remember what episode that's from, or the context.
It's hard to remember context for Simpsons things because there's so much of it, and so much in at least those series that are considered classics are just. It's so jam packed with classic moments. Like when we had that discussion off air about
Reverend
the
Lovejoy.
Mr. Shine episode and Reverend Lovejoy's trains.
Yeah.
How all of that is in the same episode, but it's just there's so much stuff that we couldn't even fathom that it's the same thing.
That was a classic episode, then. Considering it's got all those amazing things. Yeah.
Or the episode that we keep coming back to, the Marge goes to jail, or whichever it was.
Yeah. The one that
predicted the coronavirus.
Yeah. I like that episode. That was one of my favourite ones when I was younger. Because at the end, they converted the statue of Jimmy Carter to a statue of Marge.
Just by putting hair on it.
Yeah, as because of the church cookie sale, we got a lot of funds, but we're missing out on the exact funds that Marge's cookies would have made in order to get a statue of Abraham Lincoln, so we can only get the next cheapest statue, which is one of Jimmy Carter.
She's so stupid, but so funny.
It's brilliant, yeah. But talking about series that have some amazing moments, what is the deal
Bad Batch?
with the Bad Batches series? What is it? Is it an anthology? Is it a serial? Is it a continual narrative?
I think at this point we're way too close to the end for like anything to build up. I think it's inevitable that we'll get a series 2,
Yes.
which hopefully will find its identity faster.
Yeah. Because, like, Clone Wars is an anthology. I'd say Rebels is, for the most part, a serial.
Mm-hmm.
Bad Batch has dabbled in both.
Yeah.
And also narrative.
At this point, it's weird. Although, I think that I agree with you that if this episode came out, like, either before the Martez sisters or between that and Rex encountering them,
Yes.
it would make it flow a lot better.
100%, because after Rex's encounter, you have the 3-part on Braca, and then I can't remember what happens next, and then you have the Ryloth arc. It doesn't fit there. It certainly doesn't fit after the Ryloth arc. So I think it should have gone after the Martez sisters one.
Yeah. Which I already felt they were kind of spinning their wheels a little bit.
Yeah.
Which I also find funny, that I thought they were spinning their wheels in the beginning. You thought they were spinning their wheels in the middle. And now we both think they're spinning their wheels.
Yeah, because, I mean, it seems they're like... The writers are worried to make substantial changes to the status quo.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the biggest thing that could have gone wrong is, of course, Wrecker going Order 66 and everything, but that got resolved pretty quickly in terms of the rest of the show. And we thought, oh, will it come back later? And it's like, well, clearly not. So...
It was like half the show ago.
I know, and it's never come up again. Crosshair has really only appeared as an antagonist in 2 episodes since then. In the one on Braca and in the one on Ryloth.
Yeah. But he barely even interacted with the Bad Batch on Ryloth. Like, if at all.
Yeah, exactly. It's mad. It's like... Is this show...
I don't think they ever saw each other on Ryloth.
I think Hunter saw... No, Hunter saw them, I think.
They saw him through, like, the binoculars.
Yeah,
or
but
it.
not like face to face, I guess. But it does
Yeah,
that
no,
really make
he was
a
going
difference?
to ambush them.
Yeah,
Well, they didn't even have a moment.
I know. That's the thing, like, is this show about the Bad Batch? Is this show about the Bad Batch being hunted by... I said hunted, by the way. But
You did not say hunted.
I did. It was just a slight accident. Is this show about the Bad Batch being hunted by Crosshair?
That's staying in.
God damn it. What is this show about? Like, what is the actual point of it? Like, what is... We're not having that many character moments with the Bad Batch. Still. I mean, it's the same thing. Like, we were hoping that they were gonna leave Sid after the Moochie episode.
Yeah.
And yet they're helping Sid. It's like, why are they helping Sid? Like, why?
This is literally like 10 episodes later.
Yeah, I know. They've paid off all of their debts. I don't think this episode made much sense, considering they've paid off all their debts. Because Sid hasn't really done much to them. And I honestly do not see how being with Sid and her crime thing is better than serving a greater cause of being in the proto-rebellion with Rex.
This feels like an episode that they made but didn't know what to do with it. But they decided to put it in a random spot anyway.
Yeah.
I'm kind of getting the impression that they wanted to condense it to like 12 episodes.
Maybe.
But then someone up there just pressured them to put them back in.
Well, they originally did... say 12. We originally thought it was going to be 12 episodes, didn't we?
Well, we didn't know for the longest time.
Yeah.
Like, I think, like, until, like, just before it got released, or when it started releasing, like, the only lead we had was Kevin Kiner saying that he really liked the score he did for episode 16. And that was the only stuff we had.
Which is the last episode of Bad Batch.
Yeah, which I believe has been confirmed since then.
Yeah. It's like, why aren't they confirming season 2 then?
I don't know.
But assuming that this episode may play a bit greater role in season 2, what do you think Roland Duran's deal is?
Well, who would I liken him to? He's kind of like Paris, France from the movie version of Killing Joke, I feel.
Really?
I don't know why he's the first person that comes to mind. He's like a brat who's trying to prove himself as a worthwhile crime boss.
Yeah. You know what he reminded me of? He reminded me of the gunslinger from The Gunslinger.
I do not like all the implications of this statement.
Yeah.
Is it also because it's in an episode that you dislike?
No, I just thought that... I don't think it's necessarily because I dislike it, but it just sort of gives me that vibe of... I don't think it's a bad vibe. I quite like the fact that the gunslinger from The Gunslinger existed because he was a tryhard, and that's kind of interesting that he was, like, wanted to be like Han Solo. And this guy wants to be like his mum, who's the head of the Durand crime syndicate.
Yeah, which we will probably get to see again.
Yeah, I was surprised that it wasn't an
hope
existing thing.
Yeah, same. But if he or she were... Like, for example, if instead of Roland it was like, I don't know, As Morrigan or someone. I feel that would be, like, the one way to, like, fulfill the bingo of things we don't like.
Oh yeah, if it was As Morrigan, I would, on one hand, like it because I don't like As Morrigan, but I find him stupid enough that I don't hate his presence. Does that make sense? Like,
I think so.
Like, he's a silly Rebels character, but I always found it kind of like, oh, bloody As Morrigan turning up in Rebels. But if he turned out to be the guy, I would be like, oh my god, seriously? Another cameo?
If it was another forced cameo, that would be like one easy way to make it like more of a thing we dislike. But I do feel like it needs to be stressed many times that in a vacuum, this was a perfectly fine episode.
Yeah, I agree.
With some inconsistencies like the Pikes and everything, but it's just the placement of it. That's just...
Yeah. Again, if it was earlier in the season, I would have liked it far more.
Or if they made more of a point that this would be just a mix of just adventures and catching up on things and the Pikes and everything.
Exactly.
Oh well.
Yeah. What would you have done if Roland Durand was replaced with Hondo?
Well, I like seeing Hondo, but I would be a bit more conflicted, I guess. I wouldn't want them to steal from Hondo.
That is true.
I think that would be a very different dynamic. If, like, Turk Falso didn't die and he was there, then I feel that would be, like, the worst case scenario.
Okay.
Or someone of, like, that caliber.
I've got two characters that it could have been.
Do tell.
In their younger years. Mm-hmm. Okay, number one, Vizago from Rebels.
Was he a Gotal?
No, he was a Deveronian.
Vizago, I don't remember him.
Vizago is the green Deveronian with one horn.
Oh, yeah, the old guy.
Yeah, the guy that's part of the One Horn clan, or the leader of the One Horn clan.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been him in his younger years. That I'm not sure if I would have preferred that, but I thought
really
it was...
could have been him. Since he lost his horn anyway.
It's not him because
I know it's not. But...
He's got the wrong horn chopped off.
Okay.
And also different names. So I found that weird how his design is similar enough to Vizago. They didn't do it. Or introducing a new character that's actually an old character. but it's new to canon.
Wait,
Young Shizor.
Oh, young Shizor. No. Oh, I would hate that. I don't want Shizor to be here.
I don't like Shizor. I hate Shizor in old canon. So. Yeah.
And I think. No, that was the old canon comic that I read. That what are they? The Fallen very rarely leave their planet, but I guess if Shizor already is off.
Shizor lived on Nar Shaddaa, didn't he?
Mm.
As we all know,
so,
Shizor will be played by Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Obviously, who else?
Literally any bold guy.
I thought you were going to say that it could be the Deveronian that was friends with Quinlan Voss.
Whoa.
I think his name was Villy.
I know who you mean, but he's red, isn't he?
Yeah, he's red.
Or what about the Deveronian from the Mos Eisley Cantina?
I love that dude. I love his smile.
He's just having a good time.
Yeah, he's probably on spice.
Yeah. No, but...
Do we know any other Deveronians?
No. Oh, the guy from The Mandalorian?
I don't even remember there being one.
Yeah, the guy from The Prisoner.
Oh yeah, the big guy. He gets crushed by the door.
Yeah, he survived though.
Oh well.
He's still alive. And also he got crushed by the door in the future, so...
Oh, true. That's a good sentence. I know exactly what you mean, but... yeah, you remember Harrison Ford from Attack of the... No?
From Attack of the Clones?
Why did I pick one movie that he isn't in? Yeah, I remember... hell. I can't make that joke. I'm physically unable to say that sentence, apparently.
Rip.
It's not even a good joke.
I will say, though, that I'm actually not against... I'm all for creating new characters, like Roland Durand.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like the inclusion of this character this late in the season seems like he's... And especially the type of character he is, seems like he's not really going to play much of a role in the rest of the season.
Possibly not.
Which is
but
kind
funnily
of
enough, I feel like Roland was like the... I don't want to call him the best part of the episode, but like he was the thing / concept / entity I had the least of an issue with.
Yeah, no, yeah.
He was a completely fine villain. It was just a weird time to introduce him.
Yeah, I agree. I liked the design of his goons.
Were they his goons? I thought they were Pike people.
No, they were his. Pike people look different. We see them in Solo, don't we?
I was thinking about that I should look it up. But I'm really hesitant to rewatch any Star Wars not for content now. Which is a little bit silly, but you know.
Understandable.
At least with things that I've only seen once, I feel like I should hold off on that. But like the original trilogy and the prequels, I think that should be fair game.
Yeah.
Especially since I've already drunk watched Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah,
which was
that was
like
mad.
the best experience. And I spammed the Society Discord with all the memes that I saw.
Did you see Pablo Gil?
I don't remember. I don't think I knew about him back then yet.
I'm just kidding. It's Coleman Cadge in episode 3. Is Pablo Gil in episode 2?
I got pranked. I'm so racist.
You are so... Yeah, how dare you?
How dare you? At least I can. At least I know my Coleman Trebor from my Coleman Cadge.
Rip in peace.
Did I ever send you a picture that I found in Tesco? That I found that they sell mints that are called Trebor.
Trebor. Did you buy them?
Of course I did.
Why?
I bought and ate them. It's the body of Christ.
Wow.
Or, well, the equivalent.
What?
Trebor.
Sorry, I thought you meant it was like a communion thing for a second.
Yeah, it's like the communion wafers, but the, Coleman Trebor version.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, hallowed be thy name. I think the only saving grace of this episode is that we were able to talk about Common Treble.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And that moment where they pull the guns.
Yeah, I really liked that moment. That was cool. I just think it was kind of worsened by the fact that they immediately gave Omega over.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what stopped them from just shooting the pikes?
There were too many of them. What were they going to do?
There literally were 3.
Well, I guess at that point when they were holding even what's his name, Roland at gunpoint, like they would probably join in with them.
What stopped Sid from just leaving? Sid and the Bad Batch just walking out the door.
It's also weird that when Roland swooped in, he just let Sid leave and didn't like lock her up or kill her.
Oh yeah, and so why did he take over Sid's place? I don't really understand. Like, why Sid's place?
I don't know. Might be because of her connection to the Jedi or something. She did have some clout.
Yeah, it's weird.
But it's not like that ever comes up.
I know. It's. I feel like it would be nice if it did come up more. Like, why Roland took over Sid's place in particular. Why he didn't just set up another place.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a story for another time. I do want to say, like, I think it's really unfortunate that Omega was sidelined again.
Yeah. It's not very consistent with these things because, like, with the Cad Bane stuff, she got captured with on Raxus. She wasn't there.
Yep.
Ryloth, she didn't
do any. Well, no, she did stuff with Hera.
Yeah, she did a little bit of stuff with Hera, but not a huge amount. They hijacked a shuttle, but that was mostly Hera.
Yeah.
And now this.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate.
It almost even feels like she's not the main character anymore. Anyway.
Is there a main character? I thought that Hunter and Omega's relationship was going to be the focus of this entire series.
It really should have been, but no, they, of all things to spin their wheels on, they shouldn't have on that, but they did. Wasn't that one of our biggest issues about the whole show, that aspect of the show is meandering so much?
Yeah, it keeps going back and forth, back and forth. I mean, the end of this episode is just restoring the status quo.
Yeah.
As
is the case with most fillers.
But the thing is that, like, at the end of Cut and Run, I thought Cut and Run was the best episode of this series, and I stand by that, because Cut and Run, I think, is the epitome of what the Bad Batch should be. Should be a story about the relationship of the Bad Batch and how Omega is fitting into a world that she does not know, and how she is learning from it, and also how they got to live in the shadow of an oppressive regime that has overtaken, the Republic, and they've got to live and survive through it. I mean, the Empire doesn't seem to be like an overbearing threat anymore, like, really.
We barely see them.
They're only a threat when the Bad Batch get involved in something where they're involved in. Basically.
So we barely see them. We just saw them last 3 episodes.
Yeah, I know, but we only saw them last episode because they went back to Ryloth.
Yeah.
Again, this is an issue of the Bad Batch just reacting to other people's problems rather than having problems of their own. Like, I don't know. It's almost my fear of just, like, the Bad Batch just doing mercenary work. Like, I feared about that when the Bad Batch got announced in the Kathleen Kennedy Appreciation Hour episode.
Yeah, well, it will be very interesting when we go back to our predictions for the season that we did in the Bees movie episode.
Yeah. No, Bees movie was the first episode.
Oh, okay, sorry. Well, it was just the predictions episode.
Yeah.
I guess that was the before Bees movie.
Yeah. I would like to say, should we talk about what our predictions for this episode were last week and how they turned out?
We should probably keep track of them before the following episode, shouldn't we? Because I kind of forgot.
We predicted that Infested could be about, which is the title of this episode, I don't think we said, would be about either the chips inside all the clones' heads, or maybe is like bug things, like Killiks, like Geonosians.
Yeah. Or that it could have been a rebellion.
Yeah, like infestation of evilness or something.
Yeah, well, infestation of hope, but like from the point of view of the Empire, it would be like an infestation.
Yeah, or something like that. But in the end, it just turned out to be an infestation of Earlings under Ord Mantell's surface,
which was kind of boring.
Yeah.
Again, it would be a fine episode for like the middle part of the first half of the series, where you can have some breathing room, but not here. Not now.
Like some people have said that this episode is a good breather for after the high pace of the Ryloth arc.
But that wasn't even that high paced.
I agree. I don't think we needed a breather. In fact, I would say that I want to get back to it.
Like, if it was after the Cad Bane stuff, maybe, but not even that was that bad, I don't think.
Yeah.
If it was like, if after Cad Bane you had this and then Raxus, or maybe the other way around. Probably the other way around, so that you don't have Raxus and then immediately the same plot, but in 2 episodes on Ryloth.
Yeah. Ugh. It's a bit annoying. I don't want to sound like a hater towards the Bad Batch. Yeah. I've enjoyed it for the most part.
Yeah. Well, at least it missed that other prediction that you had, that this episode would be literally just Raxus and Ryloth again.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing. Yeah.
But maybe even longer. But like, on one hand, like, it would kind of suck, but it would paint a picture that this is happening everywhere. Or at like so many planets of the Empire.
I think that they should actually just go full on and have the Empire take over Ord Mantell.
They should. They should. They should also go full on and turn this into an anthology.
Oh yeah, I think it's too late for that now.
I mean, they could do a big shift in Season 2, but they would probably have to finish Omega's arc by then, which I don't think they can at this point.
I don't even know at what point Omega's arc is at.
Around the place where they were after Cut and Run.
Oh god.
Maybe a little bit further, because like they explored like how her strengths a little bit.
But then they got rid of her again in this episode. I just don't understand. So Omega is probably the most interesting character in the Bad Batch show. And yet, we hardly know anything about her. Like, we're 3 episodes from the end. We haven't explored... We've barely explored the fact that she is a clone of Jango Fett, who is like... they're all the same age, but Omega does not have growth acceleration. That's not really covered at all. Like, you would think that would be kind of important. We haven't established that she's actually the eldest of them all, but has the less experience in life.
Yeah. Because
of her sheltered upbringing. We don't even know what she really did on Kamino.
Well, she was an assistant to Lama Su, or Nala Se, or whichever it was. Nala Se.
Okay, so what should happen is that... Wrecker or Tech or Echo should get like shot pretty badly, and it seems like they're gonna die, and Tech like scans them and like you say it appears that this injury is fatal. Sorry about that, Echo. And then Echo's like, great, because that's a classic Echo line of saying nothing. But then Omega could actually save Echo's life using her medical knowledge from working with Nala Se on Kamino. It's like, wow. Oh my god, Omega is part of the team. Just do something.
Oh, well.
Because Omega should be the medic of the team, shouldn't she? Omega should be the party healer.
Yeah, possibly. Or, Scout or whatever else. Just something. But,
Yeah.
it's always possible that there will be, like, a dramatic leap in, like, quality or change in tone or something. Like, remember Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? That everyone got super bored after the first half of Season 1, but then became, like, the best comic book show on the television at the time?
Yeah. I
Not
remember getting
counting
bored
Netflix.
after the first episode.
Yeah, exactly. It was in a holding pattern for, like, the first 15 episodes. Not unlike a certain Star Wars show I could think of right now. But
Yeah.
when it kicked in, it really freaking kicked in. The characters became really interesting and fun. Like, you got super invested in all of them. Or most of them anyway. Like, even the production quality went up. It's a good show, and Bad Batch could follow a similar trajectory. Maybe they really are in a holding pattern for a reason that we don't know, and it will probably turn out it wasn't super worth it, but maybe there is a plan anyway.
Maybe. I just
They're
hope that it picks
getting-
up next week, or this week, rather.
Yeah. Maybe it is literally like in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., how, like, the first half was literally to set up a routine for it to be uprooted even more by Winter Soldier. Which,
Yeah.
they really shot themselves in the foot, but there was a purpose for it, even though it didn't work out. Maybe after, like, I don't know, Crosshair kills Sid or something, all hell breaks loose even more.
Crosshair kills Gonki.
Oh no, not Gonki.
Yeah. I feel like I know more about Gonki than I know about Echo.
Was it this episode or last episode when Gonki got really, really sad that Hunter called him dysfunctional or something like that?
Yeah, that was last episode. It was defective.
But Omega comforted him that they are all defective anyway, so he shouldn't be too sad.
Yeah, so I know more about Gonki now than Echo.
Well, you don't. Like, we
Yeah,
know
I
that
know.
Echo has had development, but that wasn't in this show. That's the issue. That was
No,
all
Echo
in the Bad
didn't
Batch
have
arc of Clone
development.
Wars.
Echo didn't have much of a character in the Clone Wars either. If I'm being perfectly honest, Fives had a character.
But still, but at least in the Bad Batch arc, like, you cared about him because you saw all the horrific stuff that happened.
Oh yeah, I agree. And there's been not much added to that.
Yeah.
So, like, basically we've just
And you
got
shouldn't-
a status quo that we've been introduced at the start of the series. Wouldn't it be like there should be episodes that are solely focused on, like, on certain characters to flesh them out? Like, if you're going to do a serial episodic show, then have the change in formula instead of being completely different plot that have nothing to do with each other. Just have it focus on a different character, perhaps. So, like, one episode could open on, let's say, Echo having a nightmare about being physically and mentally tortured by the Techno Union on Skako Minor. And yeah, it could be an Echo episode. The next episode could be a Tech episode. Then it could be an Omega episode. And then maybe you could have get into the Rebels bit, get to the point where Rebels was able to have an AP5 Chopper episode, have a Gonki episode, Gonki Wrecker team up.
Yes.
Unironically.
Yeah, for just a Wrecker training episode with Gonki, because we know he uses him to lift.
Yeah. No, because, like, seriously,
like, literally-
Rebels got to the point where it could have an episode solely focused on 2 droids.
One of which was only introduced in Series 3 or one of
Exactly.
Or maybe 2.
Yeah. So, honestly, it's mad.
And it's
to
not
me.
like they didn't put... It's not like they put zero thought into this. Like, in the first episode, in Aftermath, we see that Echo is so traumatized that he was freaking out even at the sight of medical droids. Like,
Yeah, they've done
And
that.
they
Just
just-
keep doing it.
yeah, just follow through on it. Do something.
I know. It's Like comparing it to Rebels did far more in service of its characters in its first season.
Yeah. To be fair, I feel like Chopper or what's his name? Not Rex.
Zeb?
Yeah, Zeb. Like a lot of them, a bunch of them were like childish and not like super deep characters. But
I think by the
even
end
if they were simpler.
Yeah, by the end of
Even
season
if
one,
Zeb was like a simpler character. Sorry, continue.
I was gonna say by the end of season one, we find out about the genocide. I think.
I think that was even like halfway through.
Yeah.
Because
No, we find that out in the
happens when
first
you meet-
episode. When there's that shipment of the guns that were used to kill all of Zeb's species.
Yeah, that's very early on. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
possibly the first episode.
see, there's like honestly
It's the
way
first time
more.
you meet Callus as well.
And there's no excuse for saying, oh, well, because you're following Ezra is getting introduced to new characters. Well, then have the Bad Batch be following Omega, who is being introduced to the new characters.
Yeah, or at least Echo. You know,
Yeah.
he's not been there for that long.
Oh, no, he
Actually,
has.
he's been there for like about
a year.
But still, just make it so that he still doesn't know them too well. You know,
I know, yeah.
he's shy. He's a little bit more shut in. So you know.
Yeah.
Just do something. Introduce another new character if you don't want to make it about Omega.
But then why wouldn't you want to make it
about
about... Yeah, why wouldn't you want to make it about Omega?
Exactly.
It's just so annoying. Like, yeah, one of the best moments is probably Omega, like, talking to Roland. Just when she was captured against her will. You know, she was just like talking to Roland, and Roland was saying that he's scared, he doesn't want to be a disappointment or whatever. And like that was pretty cool. But like, why is that sort of shuffled off to one side and like, oh yeah, Temple of Doom, or like, oh yeah, attaching ropes to crates, so cool.
I don't know. I do hope that the series will not leave us on a sour note like this. I'm pretty sure that it will. Like, they're not foolish enough to make the finale of the episode be completely
They're not going to wrap up everything. It's impossible to wrap up everything.
I don't think it is impossible, but
no, because you got so many plot lines that are nowhere near close, like the Camino plot line, the getting rid of clones plot line, the Hauser plot line, you know, with the chip. You got the Crosshair plot line. You got the Omega being a unaltered clone and basically sister of Boba Fett. That was opened up in that episode. You got the rival bounty hunters plot line, chasing after. Now you've opened up like Roland. It's like, is he gonna come back or is he just a one-off? It's like, what?
I feel like a lot of those things don't need to be wrapped up in this series.
No, I know. So that assumes that there's going to be a season.
That they feel the same.
That assumes there is going to be a season 2. So that means there must be a season 2. So why don't they just say there's a season 2?
I don't know, man.
Imagine if there doesn't turn out to be a season 2.
A bunch of that stuff can be wrapped up in like comic form. I feel like Hauser himself doesn't need to be addressed again. The chip stuff can be tied back into the Camino stuff, which is also like, you know, why they need Omega. So the unaltered clone stuff, that's all in there. Getting rid of clones, well, that could be left as a, well, I guess we have to get rid of them, and that will be explored in like a book or something.
If they don't
there
resolve...
is a way to...
Yeah, there is a way to do it.
There is a way to finish Bad Batch's story and leave a lot of stuff for the future, because it's a whole interconnected world, you know.
It'll be so disappointing, though.
It will. It will. I'm not saying they should do that. I'm just saying, if they want to, they can. They could.
Yeah. Talking about what they should or should not do, what is... Like, I hear an in predictor cruiser coming our way. So.
Oh, we're getting pulled out of this conversation.
Yes,
into
we
our
are.
predictions.
Yeah. So, what is your in prediction for the next episode? War Mantle.
Ah, now you've been doing your research.
Indeed.
Well, I have no idea what to imagine under the words War Mantle.
War Mantle is the name of the operation to get rid of the clones, isn't it?
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh shit, yeah. Well, I guess we're getting back to the plot.
We're getting back to the plot. Whoa! After so long.
I know, right? I guess it's turn for Rampart to do something.
Okay, yeah. Because Rampart... Why did Rampart get made into an admiral? I forgot.
Because... I think that it was because of the success in detaining Sogura's people.
What, don't you mean execution?
Oh yeah, sorry. Killing Sogura's people, including the children, probably.
Oh yeah. Classic. Oh, there was a lot of blood in this episode, I forgot to mention.
Well, green blood, it doesn't count.
I know it doesn't count towards ratings, but there was still a lot of blood.
Yeah. Bug blood.
Bug blood, BB.
Blug.
Blug. Oh my god, look at all that blug.
I hate what I just made. Blug.
So next episode could be something to do with Rampart's operation.
Yeah.
So, but how would that relate to the Bad Batch who are just still hanging out on Nord Mantell?
It doesn't need to. Remember how we were semi-excited about the first Ryloth episode being barely about Bad Batch?
Yeah, but if they do that on the third to last episode of the entire season, if the third to last episode of the entire season doesn't even have the Bad Batch, then why is the show called Bad Batch?
Good fucking question. Maybe it was literally done just because of the recognition of...
War recognition?
People? I don't know.
They were all hated.
Was it really that hated?
Yeah, because they were so tropey. They were literally were just walking caricatures, and they still are walking caricatures.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
They could do the thing they did in Replacements, where it's just two parallel plots with maybe some thematic connections, but not really that much.
I think they could do that.
But I don't think they will. It feels like something, if they did it once, they could do it more times, but I don't know.
Yeah. Do you think they would end up on Camino at the end of the season? Because remember in the episode where Omega escaped Cad Bane, Hunter promises her that they'll never go to Camino.
I hope so, but I have a feeling that it will be more of the very last scene of the season is, well, now we really have to go to Camino, don't we?
I think I figured out what's going to happen.
Do tell.
By the end of the season, Omega will be captured and she will be on Camino. It will end like The Mandalorian, the tragedy.
That's the most likely thing I've ever heard of.
Yeah, I think that's how it will end. Either next episode, Omega will be captured, which I think is unlikely, or at the end of the season, Omega will be captured.
Who the hell knows?
Yeah. I don't know what the penultimate and the final episode are called.
I have a feeling that it only comes out like a week in advance. I do hope that stuff.
You hope I'm stuff? Nah.
Never mind.
Yeah. Oh, War Mantle is the only episode, is the final episode we know the name of.
Yeah, so I think it comes out just a week in advance.
No, but that includes leaks.
What do you mean?
Like on the 17th of June, there's an article that leaks the following five episodes titles.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
To War Mantle. So there's no, not even leaks for the second to last and the last episode's titles. What if it's like the noble death of Wrecker and rest in peace Tech?
Well, at least that would be, something new. Something
Whoa.
shaking up the status quo.
Or what if they get brought back to life, though?
If it's done in an interesting way, why the fuck not?
It's like you get the title of Bad Batch, and you get the drum roll, and then Wrecker turns into a Force Ghost.
I was hoping that I thought you were going to say, like, that would be how Omega cements her position in there as the healer.
Whoa, that's true. If only.
She can do force healing now.
Oh my god. Now, I don't think Omega's force sensitive because
I don't think so either.
Because I mean, they've hinted at it even less than they hinted at Finn being force sensitive in episode 9. And that says a lot.
Oh, God. If by hinting you mean he almost says it, but is interrupted by the sand or something.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I hate sand.
Kill it if you have to.
We've seen all the footage from the trailers, from the first trailer, I think.
We have to have.
I have not seen the mid-season trailer because I feel like that would spoil them.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen it. I haven't seen it either, but I think we ran out of footage from the first trailer. I don't want to say very early, but not too close, not too far away. Not too close to the middle. So I wouldn't be surprised if like the other trailer is done, unless it like has some of the like final climax in it, which I wouldn't put past it at all.
Yeah.
Mid-season trailers like to do that.
I'm interested to. Like, I'm certainly not less interested in watching Bad Batch.
Yeah, no.
I'm just a bit I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
I do think that it's just that last episode we were like, I really hope that things start happening now, and they haven't.
Yeah, is that our fault or is that the show's fault? Am I gonna do a Principal Skinner moment of no, it's Lucasfilm who are wrong?
I think this is different to like being upset that Doctor Strange spoilers did not appear in WandaVision.
Oh yeah.
Like hoping that the plot will start is different than being upset that your fan theory didn't.
100%, yeah, like hoping that something happens that is consequential is not unreasonable.
Yeah.
I would say that is probably the most reasonable thing. So, yeah. So, quick rundown of what we expect to happen next week. Something to do with the clones and Rampart getting clones rid of and replacing them with normal recruits.
Yeah. And I'm going to say probably fairly a little Bad Batch.
Fairly little Bad Batch. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see later.
I'm going to say that we will see Hauser. That's going to be my prediction. We will see Hauser in some way, shape, or form.
What if it is an episode like Replacements, but it's like they're doing a load of like tests on Hauser on Camino, and like Rampart and Tarkin are like talking through a one-way glass mirror, and they're like, what is going on with Hauser? Why was he able to convince other clones to disobey Order 66? And then the Prime Minister is like, this is quite unforeseen. This wasn't supposed to happen. And then Rampart's like, I think this will be a good time to continue Operation Warmantle and keep going with the recruited clones. And it's like, bum bum bum. Something like that, maybe.
I thought you were going to do like a very elaborate like reference to like Silence of the Lambs or something with the one-way mirror.
No, they've done that before, I think, One-Way Mirror. In Bad Batch. I can't remember. I haven't seen Silence of the Lambs anyway.
I just meant that you are doing like a very elaborate reference, because that's something I think you do.
It was a very elaborate prediction. Not elaborate reference, unfortunately.
You will get 1,000 points if it's exactly like that.
Yeah, well, I was wrong about how I thought this episode was going to go. I've been wrong every single time about how I think the next episode will be going.
Well, that's why we're doing in predictions instead of predictions.
Well, so you can't get angry at us for getting it wrong.
Yeah, but still let us know in the comments.
Indeed, indeed.
We're not wrapping up just yet. We have one more segment to do.
Of course, and that is...
If we feel like it, that is.
I think we should still do it.
Yeah. I mean, just like generally, if we don't feel like doing it, we can just wrap up. It's not like we're locked into it.
That is true. We can quickly go through it if you wish.
Yeah, we can just do it a quick one. Do you want to start with your one of the light side, dark side, and the one in the middle of the Bendu?
Indeed, I do. So my light side is probably, I know I mentioned it as well. Just putting the guns on the pikes. I mean, that was a cool moment. I mean, I think that was the most Omega is part of this team moment we got in this episode, and I quite like it because, I mean, in my opinion, that should be more of the center point of the show. So, yeah, that's my opinion.
I completely agree.
Does that mean it's also your light side?
Well, I was thinking about it, but I'm going to give my light side to the first... to all the scenes with the pikes until they decide that they don't care that the Bad Batch stole from them. I always call them Rogue One for some reason.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Until that last scene, they're really threatening. So,
yeah, because I'm pretty sure they've never been shown to mutilate people before.
Probably not, no.
Yeah.
And they've also never been shown to be too good at things.
Yeah, that is true.
So yeah.
Oh,
My
well.
light side is about 60% of the Pike content in this episode.
Yeah, true. Hopefully they'll be better used another time.
Mm-hmm. How about the dark side? What's yours?
Oh my god, my dark side.
You were really spoiled for choice there.
Yeah, I'm really spoiled for choice. My dark side might be the fact that the Earlings were sort of just there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they weren't really expanded upon more. So, like, maybe you could have like, you don't need to establish this through dialogue. I mean, you could establish this through just like props, because it seemed like the mines and all of that were abandoned because of the Earlings arriving, right? I mean, I feel like that it could have been interesting if that was expanding or something. I don't know. It's just... Yeah. I feel like they were underutilized.
And underdeveloped.
And underdeveloped. Like, they were just animals.
Mm.
They were just there. They just living in their homes, chilling out.
I feel like we would be, or you would be, like, less tough on them if they were like a returning monster or something from Ralph McQuarrie's concepts. Because it's not like...
I like the design.
Because it's not like the spiders from Mando, whatever they were called. I don't think it was like they were more developed than this.
No, but it's less that they were... The spiders from Mando appeared as an actual threat because they actually did stuff. I mean, these Earlings... I never felt that they were really threatened by the Earlings. Because they only appear a little bit, and we never actually get to see them either. I know there's like a rule of horror, don't let people see things. But I mean, this is Star Wars. We got to see a Minoc pretty well.
They felt more like the winged keys from Harry Potter 1 than anything.
Oh my god, yeah. Or the pixies from Harry Potter
2.
3.
No,
no, yeah, 2.
2.
Yeah.
Or the weird bitey candy from Harry Potter 4.
Well, are you saying that the Earlings are a bit like Harry Potter?
I'm saying that I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
Well, if you don't know what you're saying, how about you say what you're saying about your dark side about this episode?
Hold up, hey. That was new. That was freaking smoke weed every day. but the wrong tone, wrong voice, and I messed up. I didn't say the N-word that comes right after.
Huh. Nibre.
Yeah, Netflix.
Netflix.
Nerd.
Oh, that is... Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
What
Danny
Bad Batch
Soxbang or
enjoy...
whoever.
We're not Bad Batch fans, we're Bad Batch enjoyers, and we fear that word.
We don't fear it, we just don't say it.
He does say it.
It's who do we think we are? Fucking Erin or the other guy from
John Tron.
John Tron from
Yeah, he said it a lot. Watch that compilation.
From, Grump Batch. What are we called? Grump Boys.
Did
Game
you
Grumps?
watch Grumps?
What did I watch? Sorry.
Did you watch that compilation?
I watched some of it. I didn't watch the whole thing.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But talking about negative things, what is your dark side?
Yeah. My dark side is. I feel like I should say that my dark side is my own grumpiness at this episode.
Whoa, your grumps.
My game grumps about this episode. Because it didn't do that much wrong, but it just really made me that deflated because of its positioning.
100%. I agree.
And it's well made. Like some of the editing, like during the Indiana Jones bit, is really dynamic.
Yeah.
Like all the floating pieces of the webs.
It's pretty
when they come
beautiful.
back,
It's a beautiful episode.
And there's good stuff in it. It's just it was really done dirty by its positioning and everything else.
Mm.
And I do fear that, like, especially since it was written by a woman, apparently, it will get so much... It and the writer will both get so much more flack than they deserve.
Yeah, which is not nice. I think if this episode was positioned after Decommissioned, then it would be A-class. But do you think they decided not to position it there because otherwise it would be the same writer writing 2 episodes in a row?
Likely. I do not know. I don't know.
That's sad. Or do you think this is a Mystery of a Thousand Moons situation?
Well, I don't think it can be that situation because, like, this wasn't, as far as I know, this wasn't done over 2 different production seasons.
Yeah.
Like, even if, it was, even if the last episode, well, or like even if this was the very last episode they made, that still doesn't make that much difference.
Yeah, no, yeah,
as
I
opposed to
understand.
being at the end of one production cycle and at the beginning of the second one.
Yeah. But I agree with your dark side. That it's unfortunate that we have to talk negatively about this show. I don't want to be negative because I've found it overall positive. I've been overall positive in my opinion of it.
Yeah. But we will see what happens.
Yeah, indeed.
Anyway, speaking of being kind of fair and balanced, maybe, sort of one in the middle.
Whoa.
What's your Bendu? The Bendu.
My Bendu, is I just thought it was funny that the Ithorian and Weequay were playing their game on top of Gonki.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. Which is just, I thought was a funny detail.
Yeah, it was.
Actually,
I remember that we never explained this segment in our starter structure.
Oh, well, good thing, bad thing. One in the middle.
Yeah.
Self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Also, my dark side is also the fact that...
oh shit, I've skipped that, didn't I?
No, you said your dark side.
Did you say yours?
Yeah, I said mine. This is an additional dark side that was going to be a joke one, but I forgot.
Okay.
I've already forgotten it.
Shit! Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Don't be afraid to let yourself be heard next at any point if you remember.
Yeah, of course, if I remember. But what is your one in the middle, the Bendu?
My one in the middle of the Bendu is... So, did you know that in Kingdom Hearts... Not only, which I believe I mentioned, the voice of Cad Bane was the voice of Ansem the Wise. Do you know who he replaced?
No.
And this is relevant-ish. He only started voicing Ansem the Wise after Christopher Lee retired from the role.
What?
Christopher Lee of the Count Dooku fame.
Yeah.
And not only was he in that, also Mark Hamill voices Master Ericus, who is basically Legends post-episode 6 Luke, who has his own school where he teaches Keyblade Masters who are basically Jedi.
What?
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure there's more Star Wars people in it that I'm blanking on.
There'll probably be a lot more Star Wars people in the next Kingdom Hearts.
Leonard Nimoy is in that game.
Why is Leonard Nimoy in it? Isn't he dead?
Well, he wasn't in 2011.
You can thank Omega for that.
How?
Omega's
what are you talking about?
Omega's from the past.
Sure. Okay. But after Leonard Nimoy passed, he was the character he was voicing, Xehanort, the big bad. They replaced Leonard Nimoy with Rutger Hauer from Blade Runner fame.
Yeah.
And Hobo with a Shotgun. And after he passed, they replaced him with Christopher Lloyd.
Oh, don't tell me Christopher Lloyd's gonna die. Is this like a cursed role?
I hope not.
I swear
he
to God.
He got recast like, I don't know, like a year ago?
If Christopher Lloyd dies because of Kingdom Hearts, I swear to God.
I hope that being a voice of Master Xehanort isn't cursed. Kind of like... Did we talk about that movie like on air or something? It was like a comedy about Inuits.
We did, I think, yeah.
Like 4 people sign on to play and all died like in the space of a year.
Yeah, we talked about it in Blues Brothers.
Oh yeah, because that's how John Belushi died.
Yeah, from that movie.
Yeah. And like John Candy, I think, and maybe someone else.
Yeah. Wow. Who knew films were so deadly?
Yeah. Kind of like the Genghis Khan movie starring John Wayne.
Oh God.
Did we also talk about that one?
I think so, but yeah.
That they filmed it at the former nuclear test site.
Yeah.
And after they changed locations, they took some of the soil with them, which was radioactive as hell. It's like half the staff of that movie died of radiation poisoning.
Perfect.
Yeah.
What fun.
More fun than this episode.
To sum up this episode, better or worse than Mystery of a Thousand Moons? Question mark.
Better in every way, I would say.
In every way.
It was probably more. Well, no, it didn't have even a sliver of either J-Bo Hood or Nouveau Vindi.
I think Mystery of a Thousand Moons had something to say about the Confederacy and what they were doing with the in their repression, and when you translate that to Bad Batch, that would be what the Empire is doing in their repression of the galaxy, which I don't think this episode adequately showed, and I don't think this episode adequately showed the oppression of the crime syndicates either, because the Pikes weren't that menacing after their last appearance in this episode. So
yeah,
I think
it made them look kind of dumb.
Yeah, so I think in most ways it's better than Mystery of a Thousand Moons, but in some ways it's in a very limited ways it's not. That's just my opinion.
That's my opinion. Okay, that's a fair assessment.
Do you think that should be our gauge, our final gauge of Star Wars property? Is it better or worse than Mystery of a Thousand Moons?
I feel like most things... I can't think of too many things that are worse than Mystery of a Thousand Moons.
Well, that's like how Mr. Sunday Movies, Best Movie, Worst Movie, the original way they used that rating.
They still do that.
No, but the original way, it was best movie ever or worst movie ever. And because it never was actually, like, it's not the best movie ever, so they would have to give it worst movie ever.
No, they don't.
No, they used to, before The Purge.
Oh, I see.
The original way they used their segment. So, like, they would give every movie worst movie ever. because it wasn't the best movie ever.
Wow.
So they would just say, okay, I guess it's the worst movie ever still.
That's fun.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad that their Just a Movie didn't really stick around, I think. Because it's not even sad. It doesn't matter at all. I don't care at all.
You don't care. This is unaffiliated.
This is off the record.
Off the Air-Deraan.
Off the Air-Deraan. And speaking of the Air-Deraan...
Whoa. Is it time to off ourselves, Deraan?
No! It never is! But it is time to shill ourselves.
Deraan.
Deraan.
Oh my god, Roland Deraan.
Yes!
God damn it.
He has to be the center point of this episode's thumbnail.
Yeah, that's the title of the episode, Roland Deraan.
I'm Justin Roland Deraan.
No! I'm a pickle Deravonian. Or Devaronians, rather.
I'm Jogan Rick.
Oh my god. But if you have differing thoughts to us, be sure...
Wait. As Morican.
Oh my god. Your dog didn't like it.
No, she did not.
If you have differing thoughts to our opinions, be sure to email us at onair-deraan@gmail.com, or one word.
Or if you completely agree with us, tweet at us at On-Air-Deraan, or one word.
On Twitter. Whoa. And if you want to listen to our podcast on the go, you can check our podcast on Podbean, Spotify, or other podcast services of your choice. Or if you want to watch some nice stars in the background, be sure to just watch it on YouTube, which is at On Air-Deraan, or on space air-deraan.
Yeah, not all one word.
No.
And leave a comment, leave a thumb
like.
up, ring our bell, punch us in the face.
Please do. I beg you. I mean, hopefully it'll be the only physical harm we'll get today from no other source.
Indeed.
So be sure to administer that.
Be sure to administer... There's probably someone named Minister something. And as always, remember to bad your batches.
Oh my god.
On Air-Deraan, boys, out.
You may fire when ready.